Well, hello and welcome back to another edition of the Dugout, and we are, of course, looking forward to a must-win match for India. Out of nowhere, if they had beaten South Africa, wouldn't probably have been this high the stakes. But new day. We're joined, of course, by Kunal Lal, Rahul Rawat. I think it's my first Dugout in I don't know how long. Mornings, no?
Oh yes.
I was mostly coming and going by like 5:30.
Yes. So must-win game for India.
Yes, because I remember what happened last year. They had 2 losses. That's it. And those 2 losses ended up derailing your camp. And they've already had 1.
But those 2 losses were against 2 top teams, against Pakistan and New Zealand.
Correct.
Who were there in their group. Here, fortunately, India have beaten Pakistan and they, of course, lost to South Africa. Now, Bangladesh and Zimbabwe.
Are your 2 matches.
They have to play against these 2 teams. But it was, Kunal, pretty interesting. In fact, the Bangladesh skipper came for the press conference today, Shakib Al Hasan, and we know he's a very good player. In fact, perhaps one of the best that not just in Bangladesh,
Asia,
in world cricket as an all-rounder. And he was asked about this match, and you know what he said? He said, India have come to win this World Cup. We didn't come here to win this World Cup. We are here to cause an upset, and hopefully we will tomorrow. We'll cause an upset by beating India. So, as in, like, we'll try our best to cause an upset. So he's also basically he's making it very clear that we have nothing to lose. Absolutely. It is India who
have everything to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So stakes for India, as Shane also pointed out. It's a must-win game, but there are a few concerns for India. Although Rahul Dravid today made it loud and clear that KL Rahul
is going nowhere.
Yeah, he is going to play there. Adelaide is going to be. Although Adelaide is one venue where it favors the spinners, but still it's very, very, very cold there. Do you think India are going to make a few changes?
I think surely they're going to make a few changes after the last game. Yes, obviously Rahul Dravid said that there's not going to be any change top of the order. Rohit and Rahul are going to be there. But I think the change we could see is Rishabh Pant coming in for Dinesh, Karthik. Could be, as you said, the weather has been cold again. Depending how the wicket is, if the wicket's been under cover and there's moisture, they might go, instead of Ashwin, they might play Chahal, which we've been talking about for the longest time, that he should be playing because he's a match winner. The other change, if the conditions is what Adelaide is known for, then I see Deepak Hooda going out and Akshar Patel coming back in. But it's would there be a temptation, just going by the overhead conditions, how the weather has been? In fact, as we speak, I think it's still raining there in Adelaide.
It was. Yeah.
For the last couple of days, it's been raining in Adelaide. But thankfully, the forecast for tomorrow is
better.
Good.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think there is.
There's very less rain forecast. Previously, it was about 40-50% chance, and that too, particularly during the night. So that would have actually been really problematic.
Again, if there's cloud, there's wind, it's cold. It's going to start with, it's going to favor the seamers.
Of course.
And then, as the day progresses, it's going to get better because if it's been raining for the last 2-3 days, the wicket's been undercover.
True.
So I think, and as you said, Bangladesh, it's actually a very tricky situation because they're on 4 points as well. They have nothing to lose, but who does not want to beat India? If you beat India, you're up there. We've beaten India in a World Cup T20 game, and that's very big for them and their country.
For them, I would argue and say that even getting 2 wins was massive, because if you look at their recent record, not been flattering at all. 2021 didn't win a single group game. 2022 Asia Cup didn't win a single game. The fact that they won 2 here, and also I have to remember, Tri-Series, New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh didn't win a single game.
I think even they lost to Zimbabwe also, no? I think they toured Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe beat them 2-1 in a T20I series.
Exactly.
Correct.
So no, I was just saying, going by the conditions that exist at the moment in Adelaide, would there be temptation to maybe get a Harshal Patel in place of maybe a Hooda? Because as you said, Akshar Patel in place of Hooda back. So I'm saying, could there be a temptation? to bring.
There could be a temptation, but I don't think, when you've got Arshdeep, you've got Bhuvi, and you've got Shami, and then you've got Hardik. You already have 4. You don't want to play 5 fast bowlers there. Because if 4 can't do the 5th one, it gets very difficult. But I think you need that variety. Even if you see the attacks all over this tournament, how teams are playing and balancing their squads. It's like that spinner, especially that wrist spinner, is very important for all the teams to win games. And
you have one, although
you do, yeah.
He's on the bench.
We do, but it's just surprising. And I think after so much discussion and everything, even the team management back there must be thinking, leg spinner winning games. Even today, if we saw, we saw the game between New Zealand and
England.
England they had 3 spinners.
Yeah.
So
and that too in Brisbane, by the way. Even Brisbane also, by the way, is traditionally considered to be a venue which favors the fast bowlers, sea movement and all that. Hardik actually makes a very interesting point. In fact, I agree also because Dinesh Karthik has been was in the team right from the start of this World Cup. He got to play all those 3 games. Now suddenly, I don't know if he'll be ruled out because of that back injury or on form. But he's saying we always think that Hardik. We always think that the one who is sitting outside can do wonders. We forget that if so, why was he out of the team? Why is he not the preferred choice? So basically, Rishabh Pant or Dinesh Karthik was chosen over Rishabh Pant for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, after 3 games, out of which Dinesh Karthik got to bat only in 2.
Properly, yeah.
Netherlands he didn't bat at all. No?
Exactly.
So he got to bat in 2 games. So now suddenly you're saying, oh, get Rishabh Pant in, get Rishabh Pant in.
But see, Rahul, if you see, all the teams, they are picking teams of the present conditions. They are not just, okay, this is what we are going with. Like England changed their squad today. Australia has, been, rotating their players. So it's on that day, what the condition now, what's the best team you can play in those conditions. And even at toss time, you ask, the captain of any team, they're saying, okay, this is what the conditions on this venue is, and that's why we picked our best team for today. So it has to be, see, everyone who's gone there is prepared to play a game. So if the situation is like that, yes, you've tried what you thought before the World Cup. You came into the World Cup thinking this is what our 11 is going to be, but the conditions in Australia are very different. It's not a summer like the Australian summer. So you have to be very they have to be very, like other teams, adaptable, change, have an open thought process saying, okay, this is what tomorrow's wicket is, we're going to play with this squad, that's it.
I think you mentioned England. England have one advantage which we don't. Their playing 11 features 4 all-rounders. Chris Wokes, an all-rounder by trade, comes into bat at number 9.
Sam Curran.
Sam Curran comes in.
Ben Stokes.
Sam Curran. Then I actually missed 5. Moeen Ali. And Liam Livingstone.
Yeah, and Liam Livingstone.
And Liam was bowling some nice leg spinners today.
Nice.
But see, we don't have that option.
We don't. So we have to actually be adaptable. But again, bench strength, how many people now? Again, we keep saying Pant. But with Pant, a lot of people, us included, were questioning his form coming into the World Cup. So what has suddenly changed? Just DK's poor form. I think the only player who I would have been starting who's on the bench right now would be Chahal. Because I had been saying I think all of us had been saying for months that he has to be India's number 1 spinner. But unfortunately, that's not really the case.
And maybe, with Chahal and with those windy conditions, because it's very windy, it's one thing to feel cold, because of course it is cold in Adelaide at the moment. I think yesterday it was around 9 degrees or 10 degrees, and but then it is windy also. So you may have to use a spinner. You can actually use a spinner who would like to flight the ball and then get him to bowl from the end where
the wind is opposite.
Exactly. Depending on which way the wind is blowing. So okay, if Sohail Khan says one question, if Dravid says team
will adapt to teams who adapt to conditions will win the World Cup. But what about DK? He doesn't seem to be finishing matches for India, whether you look at it from the practice match till the South Africa match. Australia pitches are different.
Okay. Ajay, what is your 11, by the way? You're suggesting 2 changes.
I get, if my change would be Chahal instead of Ashwin. Rishabh Pant instead of DK.
And Akshar and who?
Akshar, if depending on the conditions, I think Deepak Huda would play if conditions remain similar, cloudy, overcast, have an extra batsman in. Otherwise, if it's like, okay, the first half is... But again, it's...
Even against Bangladesh, you would want to strengthen your batting.
That's what the Indian team is thinking.
And go in with just 5 bowlers.
Your 5 bowlers are Shami, Bhuvi, Arshdeep, Hardik and Chahal.
Chahal. So you're going in with just 5 bowlers. Because Deepak Huda, at least Rohit Sharma has...
Doesn't see him as a bowling option.
Then if he's not the option, then Rishabh Pant should have played the last game. Deepak Huda only played the last game thinking that, okay, if someone's spell goes bad, he can bowl 1 or 2 overs. But that's not happening because we've seen earlier also that I don't think Rohit as a captain has confidence in
Huda the bowler, correct.
Exactly.
So you'd rather pick a batsman then and play with 5 bowlers.
Correct. And especially the advantage, and one of the reasons why I normally say Akshar as undroppable, left-hander. Then if you're going to play a pure batsman, then Pant is your left-hander.
So, and these are your changes. So you're saying Chahal for Ashwin,
DK for
Rishabh for DK,
yeah.
And then possibly depending on the conditions there, you're saying you can also have Akshar Patel in place of Deepak Huda. So these are 3 changes that you would want to see. And now you tell me what are the 3 or what are the changes that Indian team management would do?
Nice. I think
you really think that Ashwin will be out and Chahal will be back in the 11?
I hope so, and I hope the Indian management is thinking the same, the team management, because see, we've been talking again and again, leg spinners are match winners. And the other day I was hearing Bajupa talking on and I asked him a question and he said, yeah, and he's played so much cricket in Australia. He's a finger spinner, but he said, in Australia, wrist spinners are more successful. So he's played so much cricket, but he's still saying finger spinners are less successful and wrist spinners are more. So there's a lot to say there.
Exactly, and wrist spinner, absolutely. And wrist spinners, because of these big boundaries also, it favors the wrist spinners. And also, by the way, in Australia, because of those bouncy wickets, the wrist spinners will get some extra bounce also.
Correct.
So that helps the bowler. Yeah, and if you compare it to a finger spinner, particularly Ashwin, he might not go for too many runs, but it's easy to work him around in the gaps and get ones and twos, and then possibly one bad ball, and you can go for a 6 also. So that way you'll give away 10 runs in an over.
Correct.
If there's some intelligent batting happening,
or if Ashwin, as is possible, just gets 1 ball wrong.
And we saw that in the last game as well. And seeing by Rohit Sharma's expression on the field, he wasn't too happy
with Ashwin's bowling.
We all knew how the conditions were, that the South African batting attack is going to go after Ashwin. Yeah. But also the strange part is, where I was reading somewhere, like when Ashwin plays Test cricket, he bowls his off spinner. That's the number 1 ball. I don't think in T20 cricket he even bowls the off.
This is something
he experiments a lot.
Yeah.
This is something I remember even Pragyan Ojha was telling us. So he said that he doesn't seem to rely on his stock ball a lot, and arguably the one time he should have actually played it safe, which was in that over, the over where Miller hit him for 2 6s. He's saying he went for an attacking length and landed it right in the slot. That was the time you should have been bowling darters. Look to be economical, get 6-7 runs out of the over. You have 2 pacers who could potentially have defended, but didn't quite happen.
I know it's YSJ boy. I know it's T20 format, but I am not scared of Bangladesh. I am confident of India's win. YSJ tomorrow, but not that confident about Zimbabwe. Okay. Actually, even I think that Bangladesh in the last few years, their cricket, the quality of their cricket has gone down a bit. 2016, they ran us, in fact, the Indian team really close.
And don't forget, this year they have a Tuscan Ahmed, who is...
I think he's taken the highest wickets in the World Cup.
Highest wickets, and he's, before the World Cup, he had been, in fact, not just before, since 2018, he's been undergoing mental conditioning. So it's reached a point where he's actually so attuned that I remember reading an interview by his fitness coach, where he said that we've trained him to just focus on 1 ball at a time. So he'll bowl 1 ball. If he gets hit for a 4-6, no problem. Ball's done, focus on the next. Ball is done, focus on the next. It's actually worked out wonders for him.
So Sridhar Savarkar, although thinks that it won't be okay, it wouldn't be a good idea if India make changes in the playing 11. Only Yuzi Chahal should come in for Ash. If we change the combination, we'll fail big time.
Valid point, but if you only bring in Yuzi for Ash, you're still stuck with 5 bowling options because I don't think Rohit rates Deepak Hooda the bowler. I don't.
Even I see with a lesser profile team like Bangladesh,
You should trust him.
Yeah, you can, and Akshar also. Although I honestly feel I'll go with the team that Kunal is mentioning. I can't be absolutely sure about Yuzi Chahal coming in for Ashwin because these matchups, Bangladesh, they have a fair bit of left-handers in their team, and then Akshar comes in for Hooda because by the way, Hooda in the last game he looked like a cat on a hot tin roof because it seemed as if he was afraid of the pace that these South African bowlers were bowling at.
And the pitch as well was absolutely assisting it. Ngidi was vicious.
And in fact, he lasted only for three
balls. Yeah.
And in that very over, I think he played Anrik Norke's 3 balls, and it seemed as if he was running away from the ball. And then one knuckle ball, and he was gone. So maybe Deepak Hooda might just have to make way for
Akshar or Pant.
Akshar Patel. But should we be afraid of Bangladesh? Do you really think? And I think it's a message. I understand that Shakib is saying that we are here to cause an upset. We are not here to win a World Cup. But still, what I'm saying is it not an admission that you don't belong there?
You have to be careful of Bangladesh. Let's be, we were all discussing how Pool A is, but surprisingly, the cricket Zimbabwe and Bangladesh have played, it's made this group competitive as well.
Yeah, correct.
The kind of cricket Zimbabwe played, beating Pakistan, Bangladesh, beating Zimbabwe. So
all very close matches.
Very close games, and you have to be careful of them. See, any day we are a better side.
Yes.
There is no doubt about
Absolutely.
that, and it's that everyone knows that. But it's just on that day what you do and how you perform to beat Bangladesh.
True. Had it been a team like Ireland, I would have been wary of them, but not Bangladesh. At least.
Lochin Tucker was in some form against
Had
Australia.
it been Ireland or some other team, I would have still been a bit wary of them, but not with Bangladesh. India will have to play really
badly.
Yeah, poor cricket if they have to lose this game. Although this actually, even if India wins this game against Bangladesh, you still cannot be absolutely sure that India will make it to the semi.
Zimbabwe.
Because there is Zimbabwe also, you have to win. So from here on, you have to win both the games, and also will have to hope that it doesn't rain. There is no washout. You don't have to split points because that can actually upset your
plans entirely.
Campaign. Yeah. So, any more questions? No, Akshar comes in straight away. Okay, there is this one idea being floated here. I don't know if the Indian team would have thought, but that has already been ruled out because Rahul Dravid, the head coach, he in the press conference today made it very clear that it's going to be KL Rahul who will open with Rohit Sharma tomorrow against Bangladesh. And so the idea was that why can't you open with say a Rishabh Pant, or even if you ask me, I would much rather prefer to open with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma if that idea has to be executed. And KL Rahul bats at number 4.
But then again, Rahul, you don't want to shift Virat and Surya Kumar's number. There was a lot of thing. If they are in form, you put them up the order. But that's their number where they are performing.
They're best at that position.
You don't want to trouble them there. They're happy where they are.
And they provide solidity to their middle order. Because there have been times, Surya Kumar Yadav, if your openers, if they get dismissed, like the game against Pakistan, you need some experience in that middle order.
But even the last game, the counter attack he did, the intent he played with.
The only batsman.
Looking that we had lost 5 wickets, he just went after them.
And he was the only batsman who could navigate that pitch the way he was.
Yeah, even Miller and Markram were
had to go playing slow, 120 odd strike rates.
He actually got his A game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he went for his shots and continued with it. Okay, why not KL Rahul as a wicketkeeper?
I don't think he's
especially in Australia. I think it will be very difficult.
Plus,
Ball
he's
is
had
wild.
plus he had a long injury layoffs.
Yeah.
Keeping this demanding.
So, anyways, I think we can wrap up now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your energy, you look low on energy today.
Been in for a while, but no, it's okay. Energy, though, we can keep going. That's not a problem.
So, anyways, we'll be back tomorrow for this game. Of course, it is against Bangladesh, but it's a very important game for the Indian team, and of course for Bangladesh also. But they've already announced that they are not here to win the T20 World Cup.
We're here to cause an
T20
upset.
World Cup. Cause an upset. Let's see if they can. Although it's been raining, you must have been hearing a lot of reports on Sports Today as well about the weather forecast, and it's been raining in Adelaide for the last couple of days. But thankfully, the forecast for tomorrow is okay. We will have a match and hopefully a full 20 over game or 40 over game. In fact, 20 over aside.
Yeah.
So we'll be back tomorrow. Match starts at 1:30.
1:30. Yeah, no more 4:30 starts now.
Exactly.
Done with that.
So we'll be back here at 12:30 tomorrow. Do subscribe to Sports Today. There's lots of content coming your way. Bye bye.